Minnesota Vikings have a chance to get to 4-1 against division rival Chicago Bears. We'll talk about that game and some key matchups right after this. The Minnesota Vikings welcome division rival into US Bank Stadium. Third home game, third divisional opponent we get to play. A good chance, as I said, to get to 4-1 against a team that's just not that great at this point. You know, this game is one of those games that I would love to predict a blowout, but knowing this Minnesota Vikings team, I will never predict another blowout until I see one happen. This is a game we should win handily, but we know what this team does. They're probably going to keep it close, but it is a game they definitely should win and get to that record of 4-1. Under rookie head coach Kevin O'Connell, that would be a really great start, especially going into a game against Miami next week. There are some difficult matchups in this game, some things to watch out for. The Bears do have some young talent, but overall, I do think that eventually at the end of the day, they are going to end up being overmatched by our squad.
Yeah. This is a game that we should absolutely destroy. We should easily beat the Bears. And like you said, it's hard to say that. We can probably say that. I probably do say that like every single week. But this time I'm like absolutely serious. This team has not been good. We just did a power rankings. You can go check that out. But we have them as like the 30th team, correct, on there. And just because they beat the San Francisco 49ers, which was really impressive. But that was a win that was obviously they had all the rain and all that stuff. So it was kind of fluky.
And it was Trey Lance.
Trey Lance.
Start of the year.
Right, injury. Oh wait, no, he didn't. No, he got injured the next game, right?
Next week, but still, that was
still.
You didn't get the good Trey Lance in that game,
right? So I don't know. I just don't think they're a good team. The Packers came in and beat them pretty bad, and we beat the Packers. So there's just no reason why we shouldn't just destroy this team. And I think it's an important game because we've had a lot of unconvincing wins so far. Recent other than the Packers, but Lions and the Saints. And if there's a team to kind of to see what kind of team we are, and to say that we're not a team that plays down to our competition or up to our opponents, we have to come in here and absolutely destroy the Chicago Bears. And this needs to be that game where like we are a good team. These wins aren't fluky. Even if they are close, whatever, we were the best team in all those games, and we are that team, and we're putting it all. We're starting to put it all together, and we're going to come out on all cylinders. And we do have the talent, and we really need to do that, especially with the upcoming week against Miami. And I don't want to see. I'll be happy. Don't get me wrong. I'll take any win. We can win like this for the rest of the season, win the Super Bowl like that. I'll be totally fine with that. Whatever, but it is kind of disappointing seeing these like not very huge wins, or like when we should destroy a team like last week when they didn't have half their starters on offense. And I'm sick of watching that. So I want to see a big win and not see another game where it's like we barely won against a very good team.
Yeah, for sure. Which I think will lead us right into our first key matchup. Because this is a guy that if he can just go off in this game, I'll feel so much better about this team going forward. So let's jump right into that matchup. I thought maybe you were gonna do the plug there.
Oh shoot! I was kind of thinking I was like gonna sneak it in later, but
if you want to, we can do that. We can just edit this part out. I can just jump right into it.
Let me think. What do you think I should do? I was gonna like. Yeah, I'll sneak it in later.
Okay, sounds good.
Something different.
First matchup. Some may call him Captain Kirk, but we on GG Sports Podcast like to call him Captain Swag.
Actually, like
Kirk Cousins. As I'm sure you guys all saw the Twitter post on Barstool Sports on the plane wearing Christian Darrisaw's chain. Man, what an absolute stud! This is Kirk Cousins we needed to see. This is the swagger you need to see from your quarterback. Right. Everyone on the plane was loving it. Oh man, this is the leadership you need to see from Captain Kirk, number 8.
Right. And I want to say real quick, I like Thuggin Kirk Cousins. I like that. Thuggin Kirk Cousins. That's what we got to get going. So you guys heard it here first. Thuggin Kirk Cousins. Saying it for the rest of the year. Let's go.
Let's go.
Anyways.
Anyway, yep. So the first key matchup we have is Kirk Cousins against the Chicago Bears secondary. Now, one of the players did get cut off there, unfortunately, in the picture. That is Jalen Johnson. And he's one of the more talented players in that secondary. Let's start with cornerbacks. Of course, you got Jalen Johnson, picked a couple years ago. He's dealt with some injuries, but he's a very solid player. Rookie Kyler Gordon as well. It's someone that me and Jamie were both liked a lot coming into the draft here. They also have Kendall Valor, who you can see in this picture. They have some young guys in that secondary. And then if you want to talk about their safeties, Jaquan Brisker, another rookie that we took a look at. I don't think we got to a safety video, but he was one of the guys we were both looking at. And then of course Eddie Jackson, one of the top safeties in the game. As I was looking at some Chicago Bears report, thinking maybe he could end up being in the defensive player of the year consideration. A little bit of pass rush too to get to Kirk Cousins with Roquan Smith there, but our offensive line has been solid. Kirk should be able to light up this secondary. Yes, as I said, there's some talented players there, but you pick on the younger guys. Kirk Cousins, Captain Swag, Thuggin Kirk Cousins, whatever you want to call him. Cousins, he should be able to light up this secondary this weekend. And I want to, like as you said, they play down to their competition. I want to see them play up. I want to see them go above and beyond their lower competition and blow the Chicago Bears team out, which they should easily be able to do against this young and unproven secondary.
Yeah, and like you said, and it should all start with Kirk Cousins against this defense, who has a PFF grade of 52.3 overall defensive grade. Because I won't even say just Kirk Cousins, but that whole offense really should. But it starts with Kirk Cousins, and they're not a good defense. Their run defense is a 48.6, tackling 46.1. This is all PFF. Pass rush 54.9. So their pass rush, they have Roquan Smith, who is a stud, but their pass rush has not been that good. So I think our offensive line has been better than it has in years past. So they should be able to hold on against that. So hopefully we're not even seeing a lot of pressure to Kirk Cousins, and then a coverage grade of 58.1. So it's like 50s all around in their entire defense, every aspect of it. There's no reason why our offense that is very elite and definitely has elite talent shouldn't go in there and absolutely destroy this defense. And like I said, it all starts with Thuggin Kirk Cousins, and I think he's going to be able to go in and do that job for us. And this is going to be the week where we're like, all right, and we're going to feel all pumped up, and we're going to go into Miami with a lot of confidence.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, matchups we should be able to exploit. I wouldn't trust any of these guys to cover Justin Jefferson. Wouldn't trust him to cover Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne. So this is definitely one of the matchups you really do need to exploit. And Kirk, this is the game where Kirk can just like take hold of that. I'm the guy this year. He's still getting some questions. He's had some up and down play. He's led us on some huge drives. So if he can come out and absolutely just light up the Chicago Bears team, I think you're going to see a lot of really hyped Vikings fans for the guy. And this, like I said, this is the Kirk you want to see. This just shows he's loose. He's having fun.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see it on the field for a full game. The whole team, honestly, let's see it all on the field for a full game. We'll loop, like you mentioned, the offensive line, Brian O'Neill, and you can get back on track this week. Christian Darrisaw, keep doing what you're doing. Center of the offensive line has been holding up pretty good. Garrett Bradbury's looking solid. So give Kirk time, and he'll light the secondary up pretty easily. Speaking of offensive lines and pass rushers, a guy who you could put on a milk carton because we haven't seen a whole lot of them this year, and that guy, of course, is Danielle Hunter. Obviously, Danielle's on the contract this year. They decided people were talking what we're going to trade and what we're going to do. So when Danielle Hunter is at his best, he's one of the best pass rushers in football. But he only has the one sack in week 1. So I don't know. We need to see more from Danielle Hunter. I know I heard some people talking maybe he's not meant for the outside linebacker position in 3-4. Maybe you bump him in, have him go hands in the dirt, and move DJ Wanham to that other linebacker spot opposite Zadarius Smith. I don't know, but Danielle Hunter is way too talented to not be flashing up on the stat sheet more. And this week could be a really, really good week for him to get back on track. If you look at the tackles on this team, Larry Borum and Braxton Jones, not a lot to love there. I believe Larry Borum had a PFF grade of 7. Larry Borum PFF grade of 70.8 pass blocking. Braxton Jones 61.3. So Danielle Hunter should be able, and Zadarius Smith too. But I'm mainly looking at Danielle should be able to feast against this offensive line. Rack up a couple of sacks. Get yourself back on track. Get yourself hyped up going forward. Because as I mentioned before, this is like the last game for the Vikings to get it right. Because after this, that schedule does get a little bit daunting. And one of the guys who just does need to get it right is Danielle Hunter.
Dude, I totally agree. Because did you mention how many sacks he has so far? He has 1 sack this year. Dang, I didn't even know that. I missed that. Yeah, I mean, he's the guy that we kind of rely on the pass rush, and he's someone that usually by this point of the season would already have like 6 sacks or something. And he is against not just him; it is Darius Smith and anybody who rushes a pass or rushes a passer this week. But they're against a guy, Justin Fields, and you already mentioned the 16 sacks, and he's someone that's just prone to sacks. Regardless of how the pass rush is, I believe, anyways, just because I think he tries to extend plays. He's a young quarterback still. Um, but that passing in general has a 43.5 PFF grade, and the pass blocking as a whole is a 53.8. So there's no reason why our defense can't just feast on this offensive line, kind of like in week 1. And part of it is obviously he kind of is playing more of it's like stand-up defensive end, but I think a lot of it comes down to just we need to blitz in general more. We're one of the lowest blitzing teams in the league and have some of the most talented people at blitzing the quarterback. And I'm hoping that we can see more of that this week. I think that should be absolutely the game plan against this team, is to absolutely come full blast at Justin Fields every single play, but most plays, a lot of plays, a lot. Yeah, I don't know.
Get some
I just
pressure on him.
think,
Yeah,
yeah,
Ed Donatel,
game
you got to
plan.
do something. I don't like Ed Donatel as defensive coordinator. I think potentially if this defense keeps playing this way, he could maybe be let go in his first season, move on to somebody else. It's just not looking good. And yeah, and like you said, the blitzing thing would be huge. We saw, I think they sent Harrison Smith on one last week. He didn't get the sack, but it sure affected the play. So there's got to be something done there. And the thing with this team is, as we looked at their offensive line, if you can get some pressure on Justin Fields, like you said, either force him to try to extend some plays, make some bad decisions, our cornerback can feast as well. And that brings us to our third matchup. It's going to be our secondary against Justin Fields. As we mentioned, Justin Fields has been sacked a lot, so he gets under pressure a lot. Force him into some bad decisions. So far this year, he's only thrown 2 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, only got a 50.7% completion percentage and a 26.2 QBR, which is not very good. I heard somewhere that his best overall like quarterback rating was last year against Minnesota Vikings. So let's not let that happen again. Get some pressure on them. Let your
Yes.
cornerbacks do a great job. Last game, Patrick Peterson and Cam Dancer both played phenomenally. Let's see more of them. Let's see them both get an interception or something. Force this man to make some turnovers, make him fumble the ball a little bit. But I think just in the passing game, you got to get pressure on him because he'll toss the ball up. We've seen that. So these guys got to get involved. And I think another aspect of this defense that could feast if you force Justin Fields to be uncomfortable in the pocket and try to move around, maybe make some bad decisions, as I've said.
Yeah, exactly. Like it all starts with the pass rush. If we can get pressure on Justin Fields, I definitely think that Cameron Dantzler and Patrick Peterson will do more than their job covering. So, and potentially getting some interceptions, and Harrison Smith, just the whole secondary. We've seen it in the first week where we, like I already said, we just dominated the pass rush on Aaron Rodgers, and that's Aaron Rodgers. Because of that, I think that's the reason why we ended up winning that game, honestly, against the Packers, was because of the pass rush. And I think this game is just a way easier test than that against a quarterback that's even way more prone to making mistakes under a pass rush like that. So it is going to be probably, it's hard to say. I think this should be such an easy, I want to say easy. I say it every week, an easy win, but it should be such a dominant performance by us because we're better in every single aspect, that it just, like, on offense, in the pass rush, second, like every single aspect of this game. I think the only thing that they might have that's doing well for them is the run game, which we still also have to pick up on that. But I just don't see I don't see where they can beat us, I guess. Even if we don't need just a pass rush to do well to win. I think we win even our pass rush sucks. That's how easy I think we should win this game, and how dominant we should be. But I want to be that dominant. And I think just rush the passer, let Kirk Cousins just destroy him. I think Kirk Cousins is going to have a huge game.
Yeah. I mean, like you look at the corners who are on the screen here. It's like they're going to be covering the likes. Darnell Mooney did have he picked himself off the mat last week. I believe he had like 4 or 5 catches for 93 yards or something like that. So Darnell Mooney is always someone to watch out for on that offense, and the running game, of course. But outside of that, receiver wise, pass catcher wise, You got Equinemius St. Brown. You got former Viking Amir Smith-Marset. They like guys with 2 last names, I guess. You got Cole Kmet, who those 3 have not done a lot this year. So if you lock down Darnell Mooney and focus on stopping the run and put pressure on him, that's the defensive formula for success. But Ed Donatello probably just play soft coverage and let them nickel and dime their way down the field and make this game a lot more stressful than it needs to be. But I don't want to get too complaining.
Yeah, I can't even there's no way him goes into this game and plays like that. I mean, even Darnell Mooney's that's like his first game this year that he's actually produced.
Yeah.
That whole like all the receivers, Cole Kmet, like one of the top rising young tight ends, and has probably like 5 catches on the entire season, if that. The Bears offense runs through its running backs. I don't know what we know about David Montgomery this week. I don't know if he's supposed to play or not. I know last week he obviously didn't.
Right.
Khalil Herbert took his place. And we have not been good on, like I already said, like we have not been good on run defense, but I do think it's going to be the biggest thing for us this game. I guess if there's going to be one Achilles heel, I guess it would be stop the run, but we should just go in there full blast, and we should just go there on offense, throw all over them, and on defense, get pressure on Fields. No matter what, don't play that like the weak coverage, like you said. Just get pressure on Fields, and let the cornerbacks do what they got to do. I think that's just the best case scenario for us, and let us dominate.
Yeah. At the time of recording this, I'm looking at a Bears article. Jalen Jones, is that even? I think they got the wrong name on there. Jalen Johnson. They did get the wrong name on there. What a report. Jalen Johnson, his backup, as well as David Montgomery, all did miss practice. So we'll see if they do end up playing in this game. But obviously those guys, they are difference makers on that team. If those guys are out, then this is definitely a game that we shouldn't lose.
Right. This is a statement game.
It is.
And you said this like before, like every single week so far, this is a game. Well, this is literally a game we can't lose. If we lost this game, it would be like we drop in everyone's power rankings because of all the unconvincing wins. And then we end up losing to the Bears. It's like, it's not happening. It's not going to happen. We have to come in here, and we need more than that. We need to come here and make a statement. So we're not this team that is just borderline beating teams every single week.
And you'll be there. So they got to put on a show for you.
Forgot to mention that.
Yeah. You'll be at the game wearing our merch. It'll be good. Yeah. You got to get out there, but yeah. So
if I'm there, we're winning.
Right. But this should be a game where we just see, I mean, as I've said multiple times, and this would be the perfect game to do it in. I think the offense eventually will get it figured out. You're starting to see bits and pieces coming together. I think Kevin O'Connell will get this offense ready to go. I think Kevin O'Connell is definitely going to, and let's be honest, he's made some clock management blunders up to this point. He's still learning how to be a head coach. I think he's going to figure that out. The defense, as I've said, is where I am the most concerned. Like Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, they're going to keep being involved, going to open up everybody else. Kirk Cousins is going to have to start slinging it around, wearing the chain. Everything's going to be good there. But the defense needs to figure it out. And that's the thing I'm most worried about. I'm worried about them every week until I see something change. I think they're going to let any team keep it close. And that's what's frustrating to me.
I'm hoping not, man. Because it's just week 1 against the Packers. We didn't play like that. Like we didn't play. Right. We didn't play off their. It made kind of sense why he tried doing that versus the Eagles, because you had to worry about Jalen Hurts running, which you do with Justin Fields, I guess, but nothing close to that. And he doesn't have nearly the wide receiver talent. So that's what was weird. So that kind of like made sense. He just didn't come and fix anything, and then he continued doing that against the Lions and continued doing that against the Saints. But we did see him not play like that against the Packers, because maybe maybe that's how he thought that's how he should beat them. And if there's one team there's no team probably in the NFL that's more obvious than get pressure on Justin Fields. That's like a no-brainer. That's what you got to do. And against an offensive line that has not been playing good, and you got Zadarius Smith and Danielle Hunter. And shoot, I mean, even Harrison Smith coming off the edge is always a beast when they do that. They need to do that more. That play is always that's like the staple of our defense in the last 10 years is Harrison Smith coming off the edge for a sack. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. And special teams, keep doing what you do. Keep doing what you do in this game. Greg Joseph, special teams player of the week, probably gonna. I'll save that thought for our score predictions. So speaking of score predictions, let's just jump right in. Let's just jump right into those here. What do you got this week?
So, I mean, we're talking about Thuggin Kirk Cousins, and I gotta pick him. And I think he's gonna have 4 touchdowns. He's gonna have 0 interceptions.
I'm starting him in
even
fantasy
though
this week too, by the way. I couldn't
you
get
are,
Jared Goff, so he needs to do
yeah,
that. It'd be
no,
great.
you should be starting him because I think he's gonna have 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and if he does have an interception, it better be from a deep ball and not from a short pass, because then that's just stupid. Um, We'll say easily. I'm going to say easily over 300 yards. I already did 4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns, over 300 yards, and 1 rushing touchdown. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't gonna do that. But
What do you got for a score? How about a score in this game?
Man, 34-10.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna
That's what it should be. That's what it
Yeah.
should be. I can't promise that's what's gonna happen. That's what it
Right.
should happen. And
Yeah.
I hope we get that far ahead and KOC doesn't pull off the brakes and or pull off the gas and keeps running up that score, because that's what we didn't see from Zimmer, and that's the only way you're ever gonna score 34 points. So I don't
Right.
care if we're up 24-3. Get to 34, whatever. I want to
Yep.
see over 30 points this week.
All right. I'm going to flip the script. I'm going to go to the other side of the ball. Danielle Hunter gets right this week and forces 2 interceptions from Justin Fields. Danielle gets at least 1 sack, 1.5, maybe 2. We'll see. Score-wise, I really want to agree with you. I really want to go. This game, the score should be 31 to 31-14, but it will be 24-21 with Greg Joseph nailing a game-winning field goal at the end, because that's just the way we do things. So
No more.
I don't know. It'll be
believe.
interesting to see. We want to know your guys' thoughts on the upcoming game as well as score predictions. Let us know those down in the comment section. And we'll see you guys on Sunday breaking down this game.
Skol Vikes.